here, you know, the beauty of this Domaine is that after 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, the evolution of this wine is just bang, 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 and you get to something very different all the time.
And that's a real skill, because typically speaking, single varietal Cabernet, okay, there's some Cabernet Franc in here as well, but that wouldn't normally be something that I would sort of rush to go and have, and particularly with a lot of Chilean Cabernet Sauvignons, because it can be very one-dimensional. But through this whole parcel approach and these 150 lots, you get the complexity of a blend. You know, I mean, I can tell you, if you had this blind in a Master of Wine exam, you wouldn't be just saying it was all Cabernet based, because you would be picking up all of these extra components in there, saying it doesn't have a single variety expression. But it's got a terroir expression. There's something very Chilean about it. You get not overly so, but you get that lovely freshness, mintiness in there. Not too much so, but just that very delicate core of mint. You get the sort of herbal notes on there, and you get all of the expressions of different red and black fruits.
Yeah, and all these vintage express the terroir. Very, you feel it in every vintage, the expression of that terroir. That is the typically potential of the Domaine.
I mean, out of interest, we went round the table, and I mean, remember, we all have our favourites with everything. If I said to you, what's your favourite food, you're all going to quite happily tell me. But when it comes to what's your favourite wine, everybody suddenly finds that moment to sort of look at their phone or do something, because you don't want to pick the wrong wine. I mean, there is no wrong wine to pick here. I think we can taste and see that there really are three different expressions here, from three different vintages, and I think it would be interesting for Isabel to know, and certainly for me to know, what are people's favourite vintages, and what's your favourite? Which is your favourite? 14 for you. This is the moment of looking at the phone. 14.
I like the 13.
You like the 13?
12 for me, but 14 looks, I want to wait and see what 14.
Wait and see, yeah?
For the 12.
12?
For me, I think all 3 years have got different characteristics. Yeah. And if I was going to pair them with food I love, then I think the 13, I would have them with veal trotter stuff with truffle. No, not with truffles, but with mushrooms and sweetbreads. And the 12.
Yeah, but truffle is always
truffles, I think, spoil the bouquet. I think on the 14 itself, I would have that with a very good, well marinated, and I have to choose suckling pig from Spain. And for 12, I'll have it with the fins and skin of a big 8 kilo garupa. Steam.
Thank you for the recommendation.
It's pairing.
For me, I think that the 212 has a very unique nose compared to the other two.
Yeah.
For me, my favorite would be the 13 because it's more balanced and it's, I mean, on the palate, it's ready to drink. For the 214, I think it's a potential, but for me, I think it's not ready yet. I think it maybe has a great potential for later. So that's.
I think for me it's 13.
13?
I still like the 13.
Yeah.
I prefer the 13 as well, because it's drinking well very well compared to the others.
Yeah, I like 12 very much, you know. I like them all because, I mean, I've been working with those wines so much, you know. They have all a different character. That's what is very interesting actually. And we can show the people when we're touring in Asia that we can have a vertical of Domaine, and we can have from the appetizer to the dessert, and we can combine, or we can pair, we can blend, because it was one of the tour was art of blending, and I think it was very interesting to call that art of blending because it's really art of blending. And the good thing also, and what we realized that, you see, everybody around the table is talking about Western food. but I can guarantee you that with Asian food that works
It
also
goes
very,
very well
very
with
well.
Asian
You know,
food. I
and
absolutely agree
that's
with
something
you.
very important to say. It's the message we try to say every time we go everywhere. For sure, I'm a French chef. And
I didn't leave out the French.
okay, no, but the Yoruba is not actually. I agree
No,
with you.
1 out of 3.
Yeah, but you know, but the way you, I can't imagine the way you think, and probably but this Asian taste is very interested, I think, and those wine match
But they
very,
do,
very
yeah,
well with
they-
Asian
They
food.
do, and that's what I was talking about, Bruno, about the subtlety of the tannins, because
The
with-
suckling pig,
with
yeah,
spi- with
yeah.
spice-
No, that's for 1/4.
with
Suckling
spicy
pig is 1/4.
food,
Yeah,
you've
very, very
got to
much.
have very subtle
Very, very
tannins,
much.
otherwise you end up just sort of
Absolutely.
exaggerating.
Oh, you did say steam.
Yeah, what about
You're right, you're right.
No, but the suckling pig, you shouldn't take it with the sauce.
No,
I
no
No sauce.
agree with you.
Just on the
Yeah.
skin and the marination
So I
underneath.
say everybody but you.
I'm greedy.
So I mean, that's fantastic, isn't it? 'Cause it shows that everybody's enjoyed the wines, but also we're split across which vintages we like, depending on how we feel and what foods we might like to have.
And but there's something very important what you say, you know, when you drink wine you need to think about food. That's something very essential when you think about wine. Wine is very important when you think about food because the magic is here, bang.
The only people that don't think about food when they're drinking wine, I'm afraid, are some of my people I left behind 21 years ago. The Brits when they go on the beach.
But
to-
okay,
when they
everybody
go on
is
the
different,
beach
you know.
to Spain,
No, but they have
just
improved.
think
They have
about
improved.
Wine, and they
That's
don't
good, you
give
know.
a damn
I was in
about
Hong Kong last week. 2 weeks ago, I was in Hong Kong and we did a very nice tasting. And whatever was the wine, and the winemaker was here, and he say, and it was, I mean, everybody around the table was very professional sommeliers, and the winemaker say, gentlemen, I don't want you to tell me if it's this or that or whatever. Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Do you love to drink this wine? And it's also just basically, do you like this wine? You know, after the technical part comes after, and it's very interesting to exchange and share the expertise of everyone. But do you like this one? Do you have an emotion with this wine? It's exactly like the food. Okay, the people sometimes they go very technically into the food, but what is very important is to say, oh, that's good. Just, oh, it's good, it's very important. And for the winemaker, I'm very sure, but for the chef on the other side, it's very important as well.
Yeah, because it's very true. Because when I'm in the winery, for example, when I taste every tank or when we make some blends, I close my eyes because I know I'm in the winery, so I close and I try to imagine in another part, and I think, I like this wine or not, I prefer the other. So I close my eyes and start to tasting like this, because you separate the winery and the tanks and you imagine in a different moment for taste the different wines. So it's totally different when you are, like you said, you taste the same dish with the same wine in different countries, in different places, and are totally different. The pairing, the feeling that you are, the day that you wake, for example, if you fly, if you don't fly in a plane, totally change your feelings. So
I think
We have just one request.
question
Sorry.
I wanted to ask Isabel, because obviously Chile is, well, actually there's one other woman in the audience here, otherwise we're the two women standing at the front. But in Chile, it's very much a man's world, and being a female winemaker for such an icon brand must pose challenges, I'm sure. Is that true, or would you say not
it's
at all?
totally true. Because it's totally difficult, and it's very difficult to prove like a girl, because today I'm young for being a winemaker, because I'm 31, so it's difficult to prove to my colleague, to the other people, to show these iconic wines that come from Chile. It's a privilege for me for working that, but it's very difficult to, like a girl, show this kind of wine in a very man industry world. So, but it's a challenge and I like it.
Bravo.
I don't that.
Bravo.
Does anyone have any questions? Because I think we've got to sort of wrap up in the next 2 minutes or something. Alice is sort of nodding away.
Just one request: when you next come back, bring some baby lamb from the far south.
With that?
Bring some